Rohan!
Thank you, gentlemen, for that wonderful introduction, as always. Love it. And welcome, everyone, to Rohan's Corner. And this week, I'm talking about Hasbro's reported price increases and how that's going to affect green packaging for the Transformers line, as well as the cost of increase in the upcoming lines after Kingdom. So, if you missed the news this week, Hasbro have announced that due to the pandemic, they're going to have to increase their prices for all their products. And it's not just Hasbro, other manufacturers like Mattel and others in other industries as well have also been making these claims about increasing costs, and the way in which they do business has changed, and so on and so forth. And so, as a result, we're going to see a price hike. Now, I don't know about all of you, how you feel about this, but for me, I feel like we've had price hikes for many, many years. And, I look back at Transformers history when we used to get the Autobot cars in G1 for about $7.99, which obviously was a long time ago. So you can understand, prices increasing from that stage to today. However, if we go back to sort of 2001, 2002, when we had the True or Toys R Us reissues of the G1 cars come out. Does anyone remember how much they were in the shops? I can't actually remember, but I can imagine that they weren't as high as the current price of a deluxe class figure today. And I think Prime and Prime and Magnus were around the £20 price mark, which is quite reasonable if you look at what a leader class or a large class figure would cost today. And if we look at the Unicron trilogies, I still remember that we had the deluxes in and around about the £10 price point, with the smaller figures coming in around £6, £7, £8. I remember the minicons were a lot cheaper. Obviously, the 3-packs, I think they came up to around £7 or £8. And we also had people like Laserbeak, who was at his own price point. I think he was about £6 or £7.99, going on true prices because that's where I worked at the time. And then we had the Mega Class. Now, I seem to recall that the Mega Class started off around about the £15 price point, and over the years it kept creeping up closer and closer to that £20 price point. And then we had the Command class, which was that sort of £20 price point, which used to rise up and kept creeping up towards the £25 mark. And I do believe that the Leader class price point started at around about the £30-35 mark for Armada. Megatron, for example, he was in the Command class, larger than Voyager packaging. But Armada Prime, and then into Energon, when we had Megatron and Prime coming out in the lead class, I'm pretty sure they were up around the £40 price point, and then we were getting discounted at the end of the year down to about £30. And over the years, obviously, all those prices have crept up and up and up, and today now we're seeing deluxes at, well, in the main line, $17.99 and $18.99 seems to be about normal. In the SS86 line, we're seeing them at £21 in some places, maybe £22. And then we look at Voyagers, and in the main line, £24 they were last year in Earthrise and in Siege, and they seem to have been creeping up to the £25 price point. So £23 in Siege, 24 in Earthrise, 25 in Kingdom, and the same goes for SS86, where we're seeing them up at the £30 price point, possibly even £31, £32 for most retailers. And then Leader class, which started off, as I say, years and years ago, back in the £40 price point, has been creeping up and up and up, and now is starting to hit 50, 51, 52, and in Studio Series 86 we're seeing Grimlock often at 54, £55, which is quite mad, really. And then they've obviously introduced the Commander class at 70, 75, 80, 85 now for Rodimus, which is strange because, just a couple of years ago with Jetfire, he started off at 72, 75, 77, now he's got up to 80. It's mad. And then obviously the Titan class, I think I remember when Metroplex came out, he was somewhere around the £100 mark. And over the years, more and more of them have crept up in price, and now we're seeing Scorponok and the likes coming up at 140, the Arc at 140, 150. It's getting quite ridiculous. So where is it going to end? Are we going to start seeing Deluxes creeping up to £25, and then Voyagers creeping up to like £35, and then Leaders creeping up to £75, Commanders to 100, and then Titans to £200 in the future? And all of this combined with the fact that Hasbro are now saying that actually we can't sustain our green packaging that we've been putting forward for the Kingdom line with less plastic and more card for recycling, because actually the cost is too high. So, it all starts to make me question how much is the right price point for these products, because they're luxury products at the end of the day. They're not something that you need. And I was looking at buying some Legends the other day, 5 Legends at a cost of £200, and I was thinking, hang on a minute, £200, that's a month's worth of groceries for my family. Do I buy my Legends, or do I buy my groceries? And I'm sure many of you have this quandary or conundrum that you have to deal with. If you do, let us know. Let us where your sort of point is, where you make the decision and say, actually, Transformers, as much as I love them, I can buy these products because I can afford them in my coming months, or I have to set aside so much for my family or for my bills and whatever else because of the way in which the world is at the moment. So, what do you think? Hasbro increasing prices? I think they've done it too many times over the last few years. We had a price increase from Earthrise to Kingdom. I think they should stick on the price that they have today, do what they've done with petrol prices at the pumps and keep it there for the moment, see how we get on for a couple of years, and then, you can increase again with inflation. But I can see there's going to be a lot of knee-jerk reactions to the pandemic and price increases in general. Anyway, for another week, I've been Rohan. Catch you again next week on Rohan's Corner. Back to the studio.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.